than never on HausQueens every other Wednesday, because I know what days are. Calendars are fun.
Because
Welcome.
we're adults.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
In
Hello,
theory.
Eve. Exactly.
We're
So
absolutely mature, grown adult women who know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
hopefully one of us
Tell
does.
your friends.
Tell your
I think if you add all three of us together, I think we get a single grown adult woman who knows what the hell she's doing.
You know
With
what?
one brain cell.
Jessie's right. Jessie's so right. Um, I haven't been on this show in a hot minute, so I let everybody just say a nice hello and what they've been doing lately in this time and place. Would you like to start, Darbara?
No, because the only thing I've been doing since the last time I've been on is something I'm not allowed to talk about yet because they haven't tweeted about it yet. But I will be doing some writing for.
Secret.
I will be doing some writing over the next few months
Secrets.
for
But it will be cool
someone
for
who we
somebody.
can't talk about yet. But yes, thank you for the
Mm.
eyes emoji, Kate. That is what I was going for. Hopefully that will happen, or hopefully we'll get some news on that by the end of the week. But it'll be really exciting, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. Wink.
Wait,
Eyes emojis. Eyes emoji
Eyes
spam.
emojis in chat.
any eyes?
I um I have not been doing much. I spent the last few weeks valiantly trying to write weekly previews for the Outlaws as they limped their sad little way to the end of the season. And they've actually done okay. It's I've mostly been trying to make the argument that's like they haven't it's not that they've done particularly bad. They just haven't done well enough to make up for the giant hole they were in. Because like having after a first half that bad, it's not enough just to become good again. You have to become fantastic in order to make up for that deficit. And they did not become fantastic. They got good again. They got better. They're improving, and I have high hopes for them next season. But it wasn't enough to pull them out. And then they got eliminated, and there was a whole week after they got eliminated, and now there's a whole week we're not even playing. And I have to remind myself that the rest of the league still exists. There's actually more Overwatch, believe it or not.
In theory.
And I bought some. Oh, I bumped my friend's T-Mobile Tuesday code
Ooh,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
and
Just
just
showing
accidentally
speed on
showed
camera
off the
now.
fact that I'm wearing PJ pants, so everyone can pretend that didn't happen.
It's okay.
I'm absolutely grown up and dressed.
It's okay. They're all
Uh,
looking at feet instead because that's the chat we attract.
yeah, that's true. Know your audience. But yeah, I actually had a pair of these last year and wore them until they wore out because they're actually pretty low quality, but they were free, and I got a bunch of keychains and a new pair of Outlaw socks. And other than that, it's been pretty dead. My life outside of Game Haus / esports stuff has been pretty quiet.
I feel that. See, the last time I was a hot minute ago because life and 3 jobs and scheduling. I don't know her. I've never known her.
Who?
So exactly, very Snoop Dogg voice. Who?
Who?
Um, so I don't know. I guess since then I've switched teams, so that's a fun thing. I write about the Valiant now.
Yay.
Those are my children. Um, and that means that this weekend is going to send me into an early grave because they just have to win one game. But when you say that out loud and then you see who they're playing, you're like, ah. So this weekend's gonna be great. Yeah.
I agree. Poor Boston lost Mallory.
I can't talk about that. I can't. Boston's a different story. My poor children.
That's over.
Save
It's canceled.
Blase. Somebody look at Blase, ask him to blink twice if he needs help, and if he does, get him off the stage. All right? That's all I'm asking you. Save him.
Although I will say, I will say probably one of the funnier things that I managed to say in the last couple of weeks. It's like, I think it was Boston and Valiant, that one map where Persia just went crazy and was just sniping people. left and right. And I remember saying something like, Persia sitting out here like, ask where Aim God is one more time.
No.
You know?
God.
Like, I feel like obviously, like, there's so much weird and wrong against that, in that whole situation, and it's like legit I feel bad for Persia in it, because like what it's like to go out there and have to try your best every week and be a pro and try to get great, and like everyone's talking about why are you playing instead of this other player who's vastly superior to you, and it's like, damn.
I'm trying.
like it is a sketch situation, and I am definitely on the what the heck is going on bandwagon, but at the same time it really sucks for him. I
Yeah,
feel
same.
bad.
Kate is so right. The only 4 people allowed to play Persia are me and Kate, Blase, and Color Hex, and maybe Fusions. But Fusions doesn't bully anybody because Fusions is happy all the time, except
Yes.
for when he's sad. And if anybody makes him,
Fusions doesn't bully anybody except Team USA.
No.
but she should.
And
Thank you very much.
I'm still allowed to be mildly bitter about that.
That's my son. That's okay. Exactly. Fusion would never bully. Exactly. Fusions is such a nice man. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Other than that, I mean, last weekend I went to Boston Comic Con, which means I'm still running on zero sleep because I didn't sleep at all that weekend. I met some cool people. I met Fred Tatasciore, who is the voice of Soldier 76,
Oh,
and he
teen.
was the nicest person I've ever met in my life. He was super, super chill. I just saw him like walking on the floor, and I like pointed at him. I wasn't wearing my glasses, so I couldn't see. So I did the very rude thing, which was just point at somebody who was like famous. I was like, "Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, it's
What?
you!" And he like came over and like talked to me though. He like came over and talked to me and my friend, and he was like super chill. I was like, I'm a huge Overwatch fan, man. It's so great to meet you. And then he did his soldier voice, and he was like, oh, thank you very much. And I was like, oh my god, it's my gay dad. So that was really fun for me. Gaku Space was also there, who does Genji. I didn't get to see
Mm-hmm.
him. He was very elusive. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but
Kidding.
Fred was like one of the nicest people in the entire world. So if you, I don't know, like to go to cons or whatever, and you see him on the con circuit, go find him and talk to him because he's somebody you would just want to like sit down and have a beer. He's the chillest dude,
It
and
seems like it.
I
I
love
actually have an old but related story of that, not this past year, but last March.
him.
Anjali Bhimani, who's Symmetra's voice,
Mm-hmm.
was and just according to all accounts, just one of the nicest human beings on the planet. Um, was at Mississippi Comic Con, which is like approximately the size of my parents' house. Um, it's very, very tiny little con, but they try really hard, and the people running it, really care about it. And and it's if you're it's a great thing for locals because there's nothing anywhere remotely close by that's not like a 4 or 5 hour drive or a plane flight. But anyway, she was there, but it just so happened she was there, and it was right before a good friend of mine's birthday, who was a huge Sim fan, was actually a Sim 1.0 main.
Oh.
Like, played Sim 1.0 like she was Tracer. He would flank on Symmetra and like murder entire teams before they even knew he was back there. He almost never plays anymore, and he hates the new version with the beam and everything, but like he was so good on that hero, and it was before everyone got mad about it being the throwaway trash pick or whatever, and people were like, Symmetra, chill, I got this, and then he would just demolish people. So he's always loved the character a lot. And I went and I was like, I was gonna see if I could get her to record a little video saying happy birthday for him. Except a week before, I got a god awful head cold and lost my voice.
No.
So I couldn't speak. I literally like was in the line to see her, and I like typed out, hi, I'm a big Overwatch fan. I love Symmetra's character, blah blah blah. And this is, my friend. It's his birthday. I was wondering if you could record a video to say hi or happy birthday to him. And I had to type it all out on the notes on my phone. And I waved, and I went. She said, "Oh, that's okay, that's fine." I was like, "Oh, here," and I handed her my phone, and she read. I said, "Oh, of course, that's so sweet." And I have the hardcover Overwatch art book, and I got her to sign the Symmetra page,
Oh.
and then she recorded a little video for my friend, and she was so sweet.
I've heard, like, by all accounts, she's just, like, a total sweetheart.
Yeah, she's on my bucket list of like Overwatch voice actors I want to meet. I preferably like to meet her at the same time as Carolina because
Oh
those
yeah,
two.
I saw Carolina really briefly when I was in Yeah, it was like she was in a big group of people walking down the hallway from the press room upstairs, and I was walking the other way, and we were walking opposite direction, and we were literally like 2 feet away when I caught her. I recognized her and went, "Oh my god, hi!" And she went, "Hi!" And then we just walked past each other. And I tweeted later, it was like, I saw you in the hallway earlier. She's like, "Oh, you should have said hi." I was like, "I did say hi, but you were going somewhere and I was going somewhere, and I just didn't want to derail all the people you were with." But she had the Sombra hat. It was great.
Oh, I love that.
I love her so much. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now that we've done that, of course, because we riff and there's no schedule here.
Time's not
I
real.
guess exactly. Time's not real. Time is an illusion. Money is paper, etc., etc. Um, there's like two things I guess happening that are big deals. Yesterday, the Overwatch League Twitter was like, "Hey, here's the entire 2020 schedule for next year," and they just released all of it. So now we know what's going on next year, who's going where, when people are going where. Every team now, all of their homestands have been released. Like how many? Because when the first announcement came out, only a couple teams were like, "We're doing X amount." Most of the teams that were doing 5 homestands were like, "We're doing 5." I think it's 5 teams that are doing 5. I don't remember all of them except for Dallas and Washington and
Guangzhou.
thank
Guangzhou
you,
is 5.
Guangzhou. London, I think now is one of the other ones, which I think makes sense. All the other, like, yeah, all the other like North Atlantic division, which is like my division in a heart. They were all announced to be doing 2. Like Toronto was like, "We're doing 2." New York was like, "We're doing 2." Boston didn't say anything, but that's Boston. They're doing 2. So I was like, all right, it makes sense that one of the European teams would be doing 5 homestands because like they've never gotten to play in Europe and they have a massive European fan base over there since they have London and now Paris. So I think it's London that's doing 5. Because last I checked their schedule, they
I
had
think Paris is still only doing 2.
yeah, I think Paris is doing 2. I think London's doing 5. Like I saw their schedule and they had so many home games. So good for Paris. Um, so yeah, I don't know. What do you? I know we've all talked about it amongst ourselves of like which homestands look the most dope and like which ones we want to go to. So a question that I just have now concocted off the top of my head is which one do you know that you're going to and which one do you like wish you could go to in your heart of hearts? Like maybe like an across the seas one that you definitely don't have the money for.
Yeah, Violet's right in the chat. There's a big chunk of there's an Atlantic Division homestand that's marked as TBA.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's one week where I think it's Guangzhou, the other one, and then the other one is question marks. So
Question
I
mark.
guess we'll figure that out. I'd obviously love to get to see Houston in a home game, but they haven't posted venues or anything yet. But that said, they've got one near the very end of the season. I think the very last week of the season, or at least maybe their very last games of the season. So that would be cool because like I have more time to maybe see about getting tickets and stuff because I'm, in a very up in the air place right now as far as the future. So, obviously would love to see a Houston home game. That said, I will say this: I went to the Dallas homestand this past year, and they put on a sick show. Like one of their stands this coming year is going to be in the same venue at the Allen Event Center. I don't know about the other venues. I've never been to those. But they put on a good show. And as much as, Dallas, I would trust them with 5. And I feel confident that those are going to be good shows. So like if anyone was, shaky on which ones to go to and didn't really care about particular teams or anything, I can recommend that the Dallas ones because they did a really good job putting it together, even with the power outage, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Good times.
That was so funny because we were, and thankfully at least it was in between rounds, but and it was actually we figured out what was happening a lot quicker than people on stream did because the stream just went out. We lost power in the stadium for literally less than like 10 seconds, maybe less than 5, before the emergency generators kicked back on and we at least had lights. And at that point, it was clear, okay, it was a power outage. the emergency lights are on, and then they got everything going after that. But they handled that really well. They handled the venue was great. They handled everything really well, aside from it all being that blue, and there were a lot of Houston fans there, as I imagine they will probably still be a lot of Dallas fans at the South Texas ones. So, but Atlanta, isn't Atlanta doing 5?
I actually have no idea.
I think they are.
I was thinking about that when you were talking. Like, I wonder if they're going to use the Cobb Center again, because the Cobb Center was great.
Kate said yes.
Kate says yes. I trust Kate.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people who compiled the one document with all the dates on
God
Twitter,
bless those
because
people.
I'm still not entirely sure where everything is, because why would they release it the way they did?
Oh
like,
God!
Why don't we have every team handle it?
It's
themselves?
like it's 52 card pickup. It's literally they wrote one game and location on each piece of paper, and they're like 280 pieces of paper, and then they're going,
Figure
put it in
out,
a t-shirt
esports journalists. What do you want from me?
Let me tell you
It's like,
when I was trying to
information. Here's your information. Have fun.
When I was trying to get through all the Valiant information, because I had to make my child, first of all the dates of the games and where they're going for all the games, because the Valiant, bless their hearts, gave us a cute video with cute dogs.
Houston did it too.
And I was like, no graphic. So like I myself, and I was like trying to figure out, this isn't a drag on the Valiant by the way, this is a drag on the new Excelsior, because when you go to their website, it just says sign up. It's sign up for our email list. It will tell you when tickets are on sale with a picture of the New York City skyline, and that's it.
Oh.
New York's graphic design is fire, but it has some usability issues.
New York, I live so close to you. Where's the information? Like, hello-y? I can't. I'm apropos, but like that was driving me bananagrams, because I needed to figure out the specific dates of their homestand weekend, and I was like, all right, where's the info, New York? What's the tea? And their website was like, sign up for our email list, and I was like, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it.
Kate calling out Paris in chat. Could be your white text on yellow background. Yeah, Paris Eternal, if you're watching this, some of us have eyesight issues.
Some of us are old.
I can't read that.
Okay. Have pity on esports grandmas.
I wear glasses and I'm dyslexic. You think I can read white on yellow? That's never gonna happen, Paris. I can barely read at all.
I never learned how to read.
I can't read. So
Houston's adorable little video was really good and pretty easy to follow and read. Like, if I had wanted to, which I haven't yet, I could just sit down and like literally write down where they all were, and it would have been fine. But like, still, that's a step that I shouldn't have to take. like you should, yeah, exactly. You should be able to, put it in a list. Put it in a fucking twit longer. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Rob, I'm sorry.
I got carried away. Slapped my hand.
Rob, I'm sorry.
Ground me.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Rob.
Cut the bomb.
No.
We've all dropped the F-bomb at least once by accident.
Okay. But it was an accident. It was an accident. Okay. I'll take my 20 lashes when I need to.
It's okay. I'll say something worse later.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Anyway, paste it in a twit longer. Something. Text, guys. Schedule.txt. Something that I can copy and paste.
Schedule.txt. Oh my goodness.
Post it in an iPhone
So
like it's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I've got mostly at this point, honestly for me, the whole homestand thing is basically figuring out where I have friends, which right now is just Dallas. So that's the whole reason I was able to go to the Dallas homestand, because I had friends to crash with there. I'd love to get to Atlanta. I've got family outside of Atlanta. I'd probably need to rent a car, and it'll probably be a pain in the butt. But Atlana'd be fun. Washington'd be fun.
Got a friend in Washington.
I'm trying to.
I live in Washington.
It's Darbra. You have a friend in New Jersey. Ethan said you have a friend in Boston.
Yes, I do. I have friends in many places now, and
going to the Atlanta one. So you have a friend in Atlanta.
I'd love to go back to
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I'll work it out. And like I said, I'm not sure where I'm gonna be a year from now. So a lot of stuff's up in the air. And yeah,
Yeah, it's
we'll see. I'm I'm trying to more think of it in terms of cities I'd like to see, places I'd like to go that I haven't gone. Like, I live in the South. I've been to Atlanta a dozen times. Not in a long time, and I could still stand to go hang out there or whatever, but, it's Atlanta.
yeah.
Live someplace cool.
Like the Northeast, I hear that place is pretty cool.
Compared to the South, yeah, this time of year, shit. Yes.
I don't
But
know.
lots of places are cool this time of year compared to Mississippi.
I hope so.
Hey,
I hope it's cool
Jabbar.
outside right now. It's storming up a storm, so hopefully it's not being picked up.
Yo, same. Did you also get like a hurricane warning?
No?
Oh, I did. Never mind. It's fine. Jabbar, what homestead weekends do you want to go to?
Are you okay?
I'm
Well,
doing fine. I have coffee, so I'm fine.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I live in the Baltimore, Washington area, so I will become the Washington Justice super fan. I conveniently got my Corey jersey today.
Ah.
I'm trying. If I have to absolutely pick one, I'm trying to pick the one at the end of May because that's when their division and the Pacific East division are both in town. So you got all the Chinese teams in Seoul, and then all of the Northeast teams except New York, I think, oddly
Because
enough.
New York is having their own.
Yeah, New York's having their own that weekend, I think. But that one's going to be popping off, and Ethan, I know you're in chat. As much as we want to talk about scraping the coins together and taking a trip to China, I'm not really banking on that working out in the next few months. So I'm going to have to wait for them to come to me instead.
Befriend a player and sneak into their luggage.
Easy peasy.
There we go. GG.
Oh, I made him sad.
They're also tiny that there will be plenty of room in their suitcases. Their clothes are all. I don't know. That was funny in my head, and I couldn't land
I
it.
think it's hysterical. Listen, I will sit on top of someone's shoulders, and we'll just put a big coat on.
Trench coat on.
Then when we go to the airport, they'll be like, "Ma'am, are you really tall, or are you two people in a trench coat?" And I'm gonna be like, "I'm just really tall. Also, I can't take my coat off. I am allergic to oxygen."
I would never be two people in a trench coat. You think people do that outside of TV? Anyway, gotta go.
22's new.
Excuse me. And then I would also like to go to Philly. Maybe not. I guess I'm not really prioritizing Philly this year. So besides the fact that it's 2.5 hours away from where I live. Once 2021 hits and that big old stadium's supposed to open up, might be a different tune. But
Yeah, that will be. I would definitely in next year after next in 2022. 2021. I would definitely like to go to the Fusion Arena. Actual like Overwatch League arena. That sounds pretty sick.
yeah, Philly's like trying their damnedest. Sorry. Or is that not Rob? Is that a bad word? I don't know.
I think we can swing damnedest.
Okay,
I think
damnedest is fine.
Damnedest.
It's like it's the old English version of damnedest, like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's classy. Philly's trying their hardest to become like the esports hub, at least in the States. Just with like the way they're setting up networks.
Sweet Comcast money.
Yeah, getting that Comcast money in. And just like the way they focus on collegiate esports, like every single college in Pennsylvania at this point has an esports program. It's kind of nutty, but I'd really like to see how that works out. And that's all. I'm torn between whether or not I want to try and swing either New York or Boston as well. Again, kind of
New Orleans or Chicago. New Orleans or Chicago. There's a train. It's literally an Amtrak train from Chicago to New Orleans that goes through my town, and I can get to either of those towns for super cheap.
Oh my god. First of all, let me before you die. Second of all, I am going to both Boston homesteads because it's 20 minutes from my house. Depending on where they're playing because we don't know yet. Thanks, Boston. Very cool. I have an idea. I have hopes and dreams. If it's at Gillette Stadium, I'm gonna cause a riot because I don't want to go that far. Foxborough is not the T. Boston's the T though. So if it's in the city,
Literally.
right, literally because it's the MBTA. Yeah. I'm going to both of those for sure. I'm also going. I didn't know that the Washington homestand weekend, where the Dragons are going to be there, is happening at the same time as the New York homestand weekend, where the Valiant are going to be in New York.
Oh, no.
Because that hurts my heart. I need to see all three of my teams at least once throughout the year, and that's the only time the Valiant are coming to the East Coast. That's not like Europe. They're making one stop in New York to play one game, and then they're going to Europe, and then they're going back to the West Coast for the rest of the season. So like I have to go to the one New York homestand where they're going to be there. Otherwise, I'm a failure. But I really do want to go to a Washington one. They're having like 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can definitely try to make it out there sooner rather than later. It's a pretty quick flight. It would just have to see what lines up with what, because I know the Boston ones are in April and June. The New York one is in May. So it would probably have to be like, I don't, what comes after July?
August.
August.
The month we're in now.
In theory.
She knows.
I mean, I had to think about it for a second, so like.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
Remember how the calendar works. So if
We've covered that.
as to where I'm at, that's where I'm at. In an ideal world, like Kate, I would love to go to Europe for
yeah.
I would love to go to not Paris, not that I have anything against Paris. It's just been like a dream of mine since I was a kid to go to London, to go to the UK. I want to go to London so freaking bad. I know I can't afford it. Those tickets are bananagrams, and I definitely don't know any British people that I could stay with. But and like my dream of dreams, I would love to go to one of the London homestands because first of all, I bet it's going to be buck wild because everyone, like London has a huge fan base,
Mm-hmm.
and like despite all the nonsense around that team sometimes that people try to be gross about, like everyone in London, if they like esports and likes the Overwatch League, they like the London Spitfire.
Yeah.
So I bet it would be really, really great of them to actually see their team play in person for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's been so centralized on the United States. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the fact that everyone's going. You can go to China and see like 5 games, and then you can go to Seoul, and then you can go to Europe, and I would also really like for. I can't say next year, but the year after. I think Jesse's onto something. I would love to see a team based in Chicago because I lived there for 3 years, and Chicago means a lot to me. And also, somebody else posted about it on Twitter. Team Australia, because why not? Flying there and playing there would probably be a disaster because time zones are weird and they'd be upside down. But I don't know. It'd be fun. I like Australia.
No, the great thing is, of course, that in the Northern Hemisphere, the Overwatch League season goes over the middle of summer. So in the dead of summer, you take bunch of these American and European kids, send them to Australia, where it's the dead of winter, and they land and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go to Australia, gonna go to the beach, gonna go, and they step on it and it's snowing, and they're just like,
Oh, right.
Right.
Oh, yes, the Southern Hemisphere.
right.
I can't wait until somebody's flight gets canceled if they're flying out of Boston City because of restricting. And all these kids who've been living on the West Coast for all their lives are going to be like, "What do you mean we can't fly?" And I'm going to be like, "Ha! Welcome to the East Coast where we live under snow for 6 months. We have three seasons: summer, pre-winter, and winter, and that's
Oh,
it.
yes.
Winter 2 and winter 3.
Winter 2, the wintering.
Yeah, winter 2, the wintering.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, at least you have winter. Down here we have summer, more summer, still summer, and road construction.
My favorite season.
Like we don't even have green Christmases down here. We have gray Christmas. It's gray and overcast and drizzly and wet and gross. Like that one really sad. Like, you know how the weather is in movies for a funeral, how it's always gray and drizzly and dreary and somebody just died, and like that's what our entire Christmas season is. Then in February we get ice.
Fun.
Just ice.
Come up and visit
Yeah,
Maryland.
no
We
snow.
have 8
We don't get
seasons.
snow. The snow is pretty. and fun to play in. Ice is just gross and breaks trees and takes the power out and makes it impossible to drive, because we also don't have like snow plows or snow chains on our tires, or salt or sand getting put on the roads and everything, because we don't have the infrastructure for that. Like, it is easier to drive in the middle of winter in like Minnesota with 1.5 feet of snow on the ground than it is to drive down south with after one ice storm, because they have the infrastructure and they can plow the streets and put sand and salt on the streets and clear the roads and deal with it. And we can't. We just sit there helpless with the bread and the milk that we went out and bought as soon as ice got forecast. Because apparently we all think we're going to eat French toast.
The bread and the milk and nothing else.
I was about to say, get the bread and milk!
Get the bread and the milk!
You just buy a bunch of bread and milk. You're like, alright, I have the bread and the milk.
I don't know why it's like... I especially love the fact that, like, it's a time period when the power is likely to go out, so we get milk, which has to stay in the fridge.
No, you do what I do.
It's tradition at this point.
You put the milk in the
that's
snow.
how you. That's how you explain all the stupid stuff Southerners do. It's tradition.
Mm-hmm.
You know
that's
what?
how we explain it.
I'll allow it. I will absolutely. That's fine. Oh my goodness! All right, we did that.
We did that.
Love that. I love that journey for us. I guess, the other conversation that I wanted to have, even if it's just briefly, because this weekend is like the last weekend of the regular season with the capital K, capital W, capital. No, I did it backwards. I'm dyslexic. Kit Kat rivalry weekend is what I'm trying to say.
Kit Kat rivalry weekend, TM.
TM.
Thank you, Jesse. TM.
Brought to you by Kit Kat.
Exactly. It's sponsored by Kit Kat. I can't eat Kit Kats, so if you guys want to change that, so I can probably sponsor you at Kit Kat US, thanks for that. I wanted to know, since like the bottom 6 of the 12 are going to be playing, so then only like 2 of them make it, I think, right? Because 8 of them go to playoffs.
Yeah.
So in an ideal world, let's just say it stays the same right now, and my heart breaks, and not fully breaks because I love the Hunters, but the Hunters make it in, the Valiant don't. Who do you see out of the bottom 6 succeeding and like making it into the top 8?
I gotta pull up the standings real quick, so I don't actually
Yeah,
know.
I don't remember.
It's like, I have an answer, but it's only if I know for sure what.
No,
all I've had is
No, it's Shanghai, Atlanta, Guangzhou, Philadelphia. That would be the Hunters, and then
Atlanta, Seoul, Guangzhou, Philly, Dragons, Hunters.
Seoul. I'm missing Seoul. There we go.
All right, let me look at these.
I say decisively.
Guangzhou.
Yeah, Guangzhou and Atlanta.
Guangzhou's on fire. Guangzhou and Atlanta all seem like they're seriously gonna tear it up. I mean, I'm not like gonna 100% say yeah they're gonna do it, but like they're both on fire right now.
Absolutely.
Like of the teams in 7 through 12, it's like they and sort of Chengdu are the only ones that are sort of on their way up as opposed to on their way down. Like they're the ones that seem the most on an upward trajectory right now. Seoul, Philly are kind of stagnant. Like they're not doing bad, but they're not doing great. Then Shanghai, this whole meta, the whole roll lock seems to have just hit them in the gut. I'm not sure why or how. Like I'm not a good enough analyst to figure out how, but it sure seems like it has. Chengdu's doing pretty well. And Valiant, if Valiant get in, then I would add them to the list of I think they would do well. I think they're maybe not go all the way. I don't think I would put them ahead of Guangzhou and Atlanta. But I think Atlanta, Guangzhou, Valiant, if they're there, is my top 3.
Yeah.
Like I feel confident in Guangzhou and Atlanta, and I think Valiant might edge up in there if they get into the play-ins.
The only reason I would possibly disagree with that is the weird habit that Philadelphia has of just always somehow making their way to playoffs despite their own best efforts.
Yeah, Philly might snatching victory from the jaws of defeat.
no matter what they
It's
do.
the opposite of what Houston does.
Like, yeah, I know. It's like, Kate, I know, but it's just like, for some reason, they'll suddenly beat every single one of these teams, and then they'll flake out at a weird moment as the Philly
it's
way.
like.
But on a serious level, it's really, really hard for me to to bet against either Atlanta or Guangzhou right now, just with the way Atlanta's been absolutely shredding it, and Guangzhou's been pretty close to shredding it. Not quite to Atlanta's level, but it's really, really hard to argue against either of them beating out pretty much every single other team in the running right now.
I feel that. I think I'm going to have to agree. Especially with, I don't think the top 8, like, maybe I'm speaking too brazenly, and I hope I'm not jinxing them, but at this point, like, I really just don't see it happening. They are going to be in the top 8. Atlanta's probably the most likely behind them, but I don't know. There's like a bunch of weird situations that could play out. Like Philly doing Philly things could happen, and we just don't know because Philly does Philly things. Like the same thing could happen with Seoul, where sometimes Seoul just decides, you know what? What if we're really good today?
What if we
And then all of a sudden, what if we're really, really good today?
Guys,
and then it's like,
what if today we play?
yeah.
Like, hey, remember that killer Giant Slayer team that you thought we were going to be when we first got put together at the beginning of the Overwatch League? Let's be those guys.
Let's just do that.
Yeah,
for one day. Like they
Briefly.
don't. I can see Philly pulling it out and making it. I can see Seoul pulling it out, not enough to make it, but enough to ruin somebody else's chances.
Yeah.
Like I don't see Seoul making the top 2 in the play-ins, but I can see them pulling off a shocker win over Atlanta or Guangzhou or somebody and throwing a huge wrench in everything.
Yeah.
I think so. I definitely, yeah, exactly. Because like the thing, like Ryu Jae Hong will turn on his monitor and he'll be like, "All right, now we make it a fair fight, and my monitor's on," and he'll just go buck wild and do weird Ryu Jae Hong things. So it's like I literally don't know. And then like if the Valiant make it over the Hunters, part of me also, in like a completely non-biased way, because I watched that Boston game and it was not clean. So you have to wonder also, it's like, is Kariv just gonna do Kariv things again?
Yeah,
Kariv just decides.
Yeah, there are. I think that honestly, I feel like the play-ins are almost going to be more fun than the playoffs.
I agree.
Like we can make like there are solid predictions to be made, but there are just enough wild card unpredictable teams and wild card unpredictable players in that bunch to where one game or one round or one team fight somebody could just pop off like crazy or collapse, and it could change everything.
Yeah,
exactly. It could, like, one round, one game could go really differently than people expect it to, and it could change the whole rest of the postseason for like 4 different teams because of how it works out. And then once you get into the playoffs proper, it becomes the whole thing over again.
And honestly,
playoffs 2.
Playoffs 2, Electric Boogaloo. I honestly.
Yes, I know. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Darbra?
I was gonna say that it's just like, I agree that I'm more interested in play-ins only because right now I honestly think there are several teams in that play-ins run who would decisively beat some of the top 6 right now. And I'm not just saying that because I'm mean to my own teams, but Hangzhou comes to mind. I think several teams in that second 6 could probably pretty easily beat Hangzhou right now. I think several of them could beat the Gladiators right now. And I'm curious just to see who enters the fray on that, because some of them. Yeah, New York is another good one. Ethan.
Yeah, a lot of the top 6 are, like I said, still there based on their it's the opposite of what I said about Houston. Houston did really well in the second half, but they just couldn't do well enough to bring up their first half. Whereas, like I said, you have a lot of those upper teams, even the big dogs, the New York, Vancouver, San Francisco, who are not doing as well right now, but they're not doing badly enough to drag down their incredible numbers from the first half of the season, so they're still up there.
Yeah. I just think
so
those 2 teams in is really gonna just.
So I think I really like the play-in thing because you're, like I said, you're getting those late bloomers in the season who are just now getting it together, and putting them in with these teams that are riding their riding the high of how well they did the first half of the season and maybe not doing as well right now. So I feel like the postseason is gonna be a lot more even this year than it was last year.
Yeah,
there's a lot closer matchups. There's a lot more stuff that could happen, a lot more upsets that could happen, and a lot more ones that there's not an upset because you genuinely can't tell who's gonna win.
Yeah, I think the only team that I'm I think the only team that I'm convinced that's gonna make it to the finals is probably the San Francisco Shock. Just because they're so good at everything they do.
Very adaptable.
Yeah.
Rascal literally just said, "What if I flexed onto Baptiste for fun?" And then he did it, and then he's still dominating because he's so good at Baptiste as well as Sombra, as well as anything else. Truly the flex god we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only team in like the secured top 6 that I definitely think is going to go the distance and we're going to see in Philadelphia. I definitely think the Shock are going to be there. I don't know who's going to join them because before everybody definitely would have said, "Oh my God, the Titans, easy breezy." I don't think so anymore. They've been pretty much getting like their butts handed to them this stage, other than like a few occasions where they've managed to squeak out wins, and it's not convincing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I literally have no clue who we're going to see there. My heart of hearts says if we have the top 12 that we have right now and a miracle happens, I will see Shanghai at the grand finals. If in a miracle scenario, I would love to see that and I would cry the whole time. Otherwise, I literally just don't know. If London does London things again, forget about it.
It'll just be London again somehow.
If London goes to Philadelphia, I'm making an Aces honk sign, and that's that.
It'll be London and Philly again somehow. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, kids. Everything you know is a lie. London.
Time is a flat circle.
Exactly. Philly has plot armor because we're playing in Philly, so London go again. Part 2 time Philly wins, and that's that. For no reason other than the storyline makes it so.
For no reason besides. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Because the writers ran through all of their big upsets in stage 4, and now they're out of ideas. So it's just gonna, rerun last season's.
So, yeah, that's a good point, Violet. Because I think it's a curse. I'm actually sure that a team can actually play in the city. Like if the team is having finals in their city, I don't think they can make it. That's why New York choked last time.
New
We
York.
were also sure New York would make it, and then they didn't. Oops.
Kate's been disappointed. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Kate's constantly in a state of distress whenever Philly's on the screen.
Kate's been disappointed for nearly the whole season now.
Imagine.
Because that just cracks me up because I actually literally had a conversation with somebody a couple days ago. I would say that some people on the Outlaws subreddit saying that they're been nothing but disappointed in this team, and I was like, I'm an Ole Miss fan who went. I'm a Cubs fan who went to Ole Miss. This team hasn't existed long enough to disappoint me. Like when we've had 5 straight seasons without a winning record, then I'll consider maybe being disappointed. Like, please, this is nothing.
Exactly.
This is you don't know suffering.
Like,
You don't know. I 2003 Cubs playoffs. Don't talk to me about suffering.
Oh no.
oh no.
Oh no.
It's like all these people have never watched traditional sports. No.
No.
Not numb to the pain.
Numb to the pain. I can't even compare anything to traditional sports because I live in Boston.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know.
People think I'm a Patriots fan, and I'm like, I don't care about football.
Like you think it's been hard to be a Justice fan? I'm used to being a fan of Washington sports team.
Yeah, that's great. I was like, my parents both went to Alabama, and they printed out the Alabama football schedule for this year and stuck it to the fridge for all the game days. And hand to God, Alabama literally put the SEC championship on their regular season schedule because they're that sure that they're going to be there.
Must be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, like my parents both went to Bama. So it's like I take a vacation to Bama fandom once a year just to see what it feels like to have a team that wins a lot. It's nice, a fun little diversion. Then I come back to the real world.
That's why I follow Shock fans on Twitter. I get to see how winners get to tweet.
Imagine liking a team that is consistently never. I don't know what it is. All of my teams, I think, by the end of this stage, will have gone 0-7. I think.
Oof.
Boston's not going to win this weekend. Spoiler alert. So that's 0-7. Valiant went 0-7, and I was a Shanghai fan last year too. So
The
Yeah,
longest 0-7.
yeah. I remember at the end of. I remember I was joking to somebody at one point. It was like I actually wanted to like more teams this year, so like I wouldn't have my heart pinned on one team, and then as soon as they did poorly, I wasn't having any fun anymore. I was like, I like a bunch of different teams, and then like literally at the end of stage 1, no, I think it's the end of stage 2. 2 of my 3 teams had 07 stages, and they were like Washington and Florida were 19 and 20, and it was Guangzhou, Valiant, and Houston were 16, 17, and 18.
Guangzhou
And I was like, really?
Guangzhou with the
Really?
longest map loss streak in the league.
but look at them now.
Conveniently, when I became a Charge fan, because no matter what Brenda says, I really am a curse.
Well, no, you're not a curse. Remember, you're the witch. You're an Overwatch League witch.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Sorry,
No,
second
I'm
longest.
the curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ethan. I forgot.
Please.
We don't talk about Shanghai anymore. Season 1 Shanghai is gone. Crap rave.
Maybe, just maybe, we'll see Gregory before it ends. Maybe, just maybe.
To send Geguri somewhere that will play her.
I'm begging.
Send her to Guangzhou. Just make that the
Anywhere.
free bench boy team.
Anywhere. That's the thing. It's like I don't know. It depends on like it depends on how her contract works out, because like the initial season contracts were 2 seasons. End of the first season, the team has an option to drop or keep them, and then at the end of the second year, they become free agents. So all players, unless they have already signed contract extensions, all players who were in the league at the very beginning are going to be free agents at the end of this year. Presuming if they were traded, presuming that the other team just bought out their existing contract. Like, say, Dante, if the Outlaws just bought his existing contract from the Shock, then it runs out at the end of this season. I know what's happening with Jake. I don't know anything that's happening with the team. I really don't. I read he said something in an interview once about having already signed an extension of some sort with the Outlaws, so I don't think he will get traded anywhere. If he decides to hang it up, then he decides to hang it up. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Oh, that I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of crap he's doing on Instagram. Jake's doing stupid stuff for Instaclicks. Is like,
the tea.
Yeah,
but we don't have it. I'm sorry.
I'm not where you go for Jake tea. Sorry.
My cup is empty. I have no more juice. It's all gone.
No more tea. Sorry.
Unlucky.
And
lucky.
But that's actually something because I was talking to somebody about, what are like a conversation was happening with people like, what are your first moves if you're Houston's new owner? And it's like, step 1 is if presuming that they're all still on that contract that ends at the end of this season, give Muma and Dante whatever they want. Like, kill yourself to keep those 2.
Yeah.
And work from there. Mm-hmm. Because, if they're there, a lot of teams are going to be in that situation. Because Geguri signed on, to go back to where they really did. Muma and Dante have hard carried this team, and we love them dearly. But they, because Geguri came into the league in the middle of last season, I don't know if her contract runs out at the end of this year or not. And if it does, then she gets to shop around. Yeah. She gets the option of making her own decision on that. And I think that's the only way she's going to leave Shanghai, frankly, even if they don't play her, because she's too popular. Like
They won't drop her.
they make more money having Geguri on the bench than off of any of their players that are actually starting, probably, except for like Gamsu. You know, DM and Ding are getting popular now, but that's like nothing compared to the fan love for Geguri. There's, you know, they're gonna hang on to her as long as they can. But if it comes up to her contract running out and her actually having the option to talk to other teams, then I think another team could make a good offer for her. But they're never going to trade her, basically.
Yeah.
If it's up to them, they're never going to let her go. But once it reaches the point where it's her, she has the option, then I think she might. Which, like I said, I think a lot of these middle of the road teams are going to be the second the season ends, throwing down big bucks to hang on to their big players, because, you know, a team with a ton of money could just go around buying up all of the good players from mediocre teams and build themselves a super team, and everyone else be left in the dust.
I can't believe Super Team is inevitable.
Off season's gonna be popping. I'm really excited for off season.
Exactly.
But I'm also very scared for off season. It's a mixed bag.
I'm not gonna recognize Boston next year, and you know what? That's part of being a Boston fan.
I was about to say,
like,
I mean, you also didn't you didn't recognize Boston at the beginning of this year either, so
I love
I'm at the point of really hoping I don't recognize some of Houston next year. Like, I'm probably gonna recognize everybody, and that might not be a good thing. Oh, I have said I think they need to make front office and coaching changes first.
Yeah.
As far as Houston, before they make roster changes, I think all of our players could be a lot better than they are if they had more support. So
I feel that in my heart.
I don't know if money or time are going to allow for that. So
yeah,
just be like that. And there's like a bunch of, so it's like talking about next season is both like easy and difficult because you can make assumptions based on what's been happening this year, but then also you don't know what teams are just going to get completely gutted and turned into like a super team or something, you know? So it's like, oh my gosh, like we might not recognize half of these teams next year, and we won't know if it's for better or for worse until they start playing. So I have no clue about anything going into next year. I thought I knew anything. I thought I had the audacity to think I knew something coming into this year, and look, was I given garbage?
that was foolish of you.
Predictions anymore. I just go, okay, that game's gonna happen, and
somebody's gonna win it.
Somebody's gonna win.
They'll play the game. Unless it's Guangzhou, Dallas, and Havana, then they won't play the game.
That was the one thing I missed from last weekend, and you know what? I think I'm happy.
Yeah.
How long was the game down for?
Like an hour.
45 minutes.
A very long time. We saw many specials and listened to many Jeff songs. And watched.
Can I just say, I want it on the record. Massive, massive, massive props to the entire talent and production team for winging that.
Absolutely.
Holy cow, that had to be such a nightmare of just literally just inventing 45 minutes of content on the fly like that.
Well,
and
Kilios killed it.
Oh yeah. Everyone, like, I didn't even watch all of it, but like, just huge. Putting on a production like that is insane anyway. Even when everything goes right, it's a huge amount of work, and you know, pulling it all together and making it all mildly coherent for what it was given those circumstances was top-notch work. So A++ to the Overwatch League production team. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, good job. Proud of you.
You're doing great, sweetie.
We got to watch Brennan Corey with Nerf bows and Nerf arrows, not shooting targets.
Zoe's little doodles of Sideshow and Stratus were so cute, though.
See, I feel like Corey was at a disadvantage because he would never shoot Stratus.
Exactly. Whereas, you know, Brandon's just dying to put something through Sideshow's head.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm being very happy about Zoe right now. I've seen a lot of her doodles. She doodles a lot for Mermaid, where everyone stuff, and she posts one every day because I saw it on Twitter and Instagram. But she's like an artist. It's adorable.
Oh,
I know.
She can't be good at
Zoe's
everything.
a doll.
That's not fair.
She must, but she must. The gay within me has decreed it so. She must.
Are And then we had no choice but to stand.
Had
But
no
what if you
choice.
didn't want to stand?
We have no
had
choice
to.
but to stand.
No
Like,
choice. We must follow the account. We have no choice. We are out here, but humble gaze, serving our purpose. And you know what? It is sometimes.
Our
And
brand.
exactly. Very Darby voice.
My brand.
My brand. Oh my goodness. All right. We're coming up on an hour now.
We did.
Started because we were planning and being professional and not memeing at each other.
definitely.
For 10
Definitely.
We've never
Extra,
we've
50,
never
extra
memed
15
ever.
minutes of extra 15 minutes of deep, thoughtful, insightful planning on what brilliant insights we were going to bring to our adoring public tonight.
And we brought them, as you heard. We brought all the insights.
Found out a lot of things tonight. I don't know how a calendar works. That's great information for the world to have. Want to confuse me? Show me a calendar.
Shocking.
And now you know.
And now you know. Can't read, can't use a calendar.
Also, you should follow the HausQueens Twitter if you don't, because we have 99 followers. And we won't do anything at 100, but you'll have our gratitude.
It'll make us happy.
Yeah.
I'll give everybody a crisp high five.
If you go to Boston.
If you
I'm trying to. How does a high five be crisp? I don't.
like this. Hiya!
If you know, you know. Sometimes you just know when you get a high five.
That I would just hurt my own hand doing that.
I was about to say that sounds painful.
Too crisp of a high five.
Only the crispness.
That one was a little burnt around the edges. Yeah.
My boyfriend's laughing at me. That's how I know I gave too crisp of a high five.
Kyle understands.
He gets it. High five me. Not too hard. Okay, that was good.
That sounded pretty crisp.
Yeah, it was crisp, but without crossing the line of being like too crisp. Because sometimes, people just go, "Pata! I will karate chop you on sight." Yes, you're right, Kate. That's exactly what I'll do, in a good way.
Come to the grand finals in Philly to get karate chopped by Mallory.
Listen. I have no plans on Thursday, so meet me in Philly and I will karate chop.
She'll be taking Felipe for a walk.
Not until he gets there. Not until he gets there.
She'll
So
be making sure he gets his exercise.
Make sure you pack the spare toddler leash.
I have one.
Get him a one with a little backpack on it so he can carry his snacks.
Yes, I'm getting one that looks like a turtle and one that looks like. If you see someone walking their leash child,
And the leash child is almost as tall as she is.
taller actually, I think.
Oh my god.
That's when you know you found me. I'm so sorry for this. Anyways, everybody say goodbye one by one, and then we can end this cursed podcast.
Thank you, everyone.
Darbara, where can everybody find you and follow your eyes and information that can't drop yet?
You can follow me at this Twitter that's above my head, I think, at Soundcheck with 2 C's. And you can also follow my Instagram at Soundcheck with 2 C's and my Twitch at Soundcheck with 2 C's, but I never stream, so I don't know why you would.
Hi, Brad.
I just realized I've never looked at the stream. I don't know where my
Yours is below your camera.
name is.
You have to point down.
Yay! Yes, I am there. Jezzy Bell with 1 underscore. On Instagram, there are 2 underscores. On Reddit, it is Jezzy_Bell another underscore. Because nobody will just give me my dang screen name anywhere. But if there's if it is some combination of Jezzy and Bell and she's yelling about Overwatch, it's probably me.
And that's
Get at me.
Your name's above your head, just so you know.
It's Mackle Mallory OW because some person with the Mackle Mallory their account in 7 years. So Twitter, give me the link. My Instagram is on my Twitter header. I encourage people to follow my cosplay one because that's like more public and more like for people other than my personal one. So you can do that if you want to see me dress up like weird things like SpongeBob SquarePants. And I don't stream, and I don't do anything else. So you can just follow me on Twitter and watch me cry about a multitude of things because there's no reason for me to just choose one. That'd be too easy.
And then you can follow all of us together at HausQueens.
At HausQueens.
At TGH Esports, which is over there someplace.
Yes.
All of our writing, in theory.
We're all just sort of gesturing vaguely into space. Like there are some UI elements somewhere.
Somewhere on this overlay.
Vanna White this shit.
One of you is over here and one of you is over there, and I didn't look long enough to see which.
Yes, at TH Esports. Our lovely overlay is made by Miranda at in 2 underscores, I believe, on Twitter. So everybody should love Miranda too.
Put it in the chat because that
Baby
might be
Java
hard to
will
spell.
take it. Thank you so much for my life, because we've already noted I can't.
I spelled it wrong. This is why you can't trust me.
Oh no! Delete the pod. Delete it.
Nailed it.
And yeah, but yeah, follow the TJG Sports. Follow us on HausQueens. Remember, 100 followers equals crisp high fives and or karate chops.
On site.
Exactly, on site. I see you. You get a karate chop. I think that's it though. We'll be back not next week, but the week after, because we are bi-weekly now.
Indeed, we are.
So y'all can catch us in 2 Wednesdays, and then until then, we have been HausQueens. Thank you for watching us and dealing with our shenanigans.
A fond adios from the Clown Fiesta.
Good night.
Honk honk. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.